Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. It's your girl Adina with the third, the third episode of the second season of the Liberated Pussy podcast. So happy to be here. Yay! We have a wonderful conversation lined up. I'm going to get our girl Monique into the room with us and then we will get it going. There she is. There she is. All right. So you know how we in. Abracadabra. Technology, let her in. Come on. Abracadabra.
Yes.
Yay!
That worked quickly. That
It
was
was
like, I know,
today.
right?
Our magic is speeding up. Our magic is
Yes,
working faster.
it is. Yes, it is.
I totally love it. Let's take a quick moment, introduce ourselves, and then let's jump into this amazing conversation we have lined up for today.
Okay,
Would you like
great.
to go first?
No, you go first. You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I started a little bit. I am your girl, Adina. I am the goddess of magical movement. I am, and I feel weird keep saying I am, but I have co-founded Belly Dancers of Color Collective with my sister Layla. I'm also a facilitator here at Follow the Sun with my sister Monique. What we do at Follow the Sun is Goddess Technology. That's one thing that I do with Monique, Goddess Technology and Goddess Gathering. What is that? That is a rites of passage program for women who are waking up to their magic today. Today, now, this lifetime,
Yeah.
we are meeting with women every week as we move through it together. And keep in mind, ladies, we're waking up too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're waking up with you.
Okay.
It's just levels of it, levels, concentric circles up. So that's who I am. That's what we do. Monique and I are taking an amazing group of ladies to Bali this summer, where we'll have the opportunity, yes, to work in a beautiful place that's spiritually aligned with the work that we're doing, and we'll be getting really great progress done together in Bali. So that's who I am. And I pass the rattle to you.
Adina. Woo! Yes. Thank you, Adina. So I am Monique Ruffin, also known as the Moon Mama. I am an astrologer. I am, my work and devotion is to help people, especially women of color in particular, but I work with all women, to remember who they are, to remember their DNA codes, to wake up to the magic, and to learn how to be who they truly are meant to be and undoing the conditioning that we've been born into. I am the founder, also co-founder of Follow the Sun, which is a community designed to assisting women in waking up to their magic. Goddess Technology is one of those courses that we teach there. We also teach 13 moons. I teach a lot of classes around the retrogrades because my work is to help us really begin to dance with the energy, learn that we are energetic beings, and how can we master our inner worlds and then create the external world that we desire. And so I have worked with hundreds, maybe thousands of people, assisting them in remembering who they are. And I love my life. I love my work. And I'm also a co-host of a podcast, this Liberated Pussy podcast, Freedom Ain't Free, where Adina and I
There's a
have
cost.
grown woman conversations about how to really come into our power and begin to create a life that really works based upon our sovereignty, based upon us being sovereign. So that's who I am. Thank you, Adina.
I say, she's a bad sister. I'm here to tell you. Amazing. It's an honor to sit here with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Monique, you know how we start. Since
Yes.
she is our resident astrologer, she tells us what's happening energetically so that we align our conversation, we align our day with the energies that are present. We know that the moon is in Leo today.
Yes, it is.
We know, yes, we know the moon is in Leo. You want to take a moment?
Yeah.
Or just
Well, no, it's okay.
Okay.
I just in my mind, I was like, okay, great. So the moon is in Leo, and everything else is in Aquarius, basically, which is opposing Leo. So the sun just moved into Pisces, so we have the Pisces sun at about the second or third degree, and the moon is in Leo. So the moon in Leo creates like an enthusiasm, a passion, a drive for like fun and joy and excitement, and like a playfulness. And so the energy is available for that. But opposing the sun is Pluto.
Oh, wow.
Uh, opposing the moon. I'm sorry, opposing the moon is Pluto. So people could be feeling a heaviness today,
Mhm.
this morning, like feeling slow and sluggish, and like you can't really find your footing. And the what is available for that is to really, how do I want to say? Because Aquarius, with Pluto and Aquarius, is asking us to be our authentic selves. And it's asking you to break out of the ways that you shrink. It's asking you to confront the part of yourself that is outdated and old and in behaviors and patterns that don't serve you. And the moon in Leo is saying, lighten up, lighten up, right? It's like talking to me. It's like lighten up, like be more playful. And so sometimes you gotta just fake it until you make it. It's
Mhm.
that kind of energy. It's literally an energy of like, trust the energy. You don't trust yourself.
Okay.
Like, even though you don't feel good, just even though you might feel heavy, even though you might feel sluggish, just kind of force yourself. Force
Mhm.
yourself to play a little bit. Force yourself to lighten up and um and do it by asking some questions, right? So some questions you could ask yourself are things like, what would make me really feel good or happy, right? And just listen. Like, you don't have to know just ask. Like, what would actually help me lighten up? What would help me do that? Um,
Mhm.
what would open my heart? This morning when I dropped off my son, I came home, and as soon as I got home, I made myself a cacao drink with some ginger and cloves in it to really just lighten myself up. So if you just communicate with yourself and take the actions that yourself gives you, you will feel your energy begin to lighten up. And that's the mission, to lighten up.
Okay.
Mhm.
I got to shake the rattle on that because I felt all the feels of that this morning. All the feels.
You
I've been
did?
telling you, I've been having a sensation in my lower back that I've been moving through maybe the
Mhm.
last week or so, maybe longer. But today it was just like, ah, like just like there. And I was just like, really, really, sensation? What, like we got stuff to do. But leaning into it, moving, forcing myself to go through my regular program and all of that, I felt like I was dragging my body, like, come
Yes.
on. But I did feel better as I moved and got into the things that I need to get into because I'm not letting sensations take me off of my path. I know
Yes.
that I am still in control of that. I'm speaking to that sensation, asking it, what's it about, so that I can release it. So I'm still working with it. I've been working with it for a minute.
Yes. I
So thank
think
you for
it's
explaining that.
that's so great. I think it's like when I hear you say it, I'm like, oh, something is trying to be released from your body.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
And when we understand that, we can do the work internally to help our bodies shift
Mhm.
energy and move things. But when we don't understand it, we override it and we push it aside and we say that's nothing. And
People
then,
take aspirin and doing all these other things, or go to a doctor and get on some medicines that they don't really need.
right,
Like you're doing too much for what it is.
right.
I recognize clearly what you're saying. That is something being released from my body. I also had one of my teachers tell me that all quote unquote pains in the body are sounds trapped in your body.
Mm,
So as I did my meditation this morning, and I was just conscious to
yes,
just and sending it to that area, saying release with this sound, release with the ah. Oh,
yes,
and on the inhale, because even now doing it, I feel it. So I know it's deep because I've been working with it for a few days now.
yes,
But I'm here for it. It's like, listen, I'm here to listen to you and I'm here to release you. I'm not carrying you forward. I'm not medicating you. I'm going
right.
to I'm going to hear you so you can be released fully and healed completely. Me talking
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the thing that I love about that is that when we meet ourselves, our bodies, from this place of consciousness and intention and compassion, we actually draw the power to be healers of ourselves. But
Ashe.
because we've been conditioned to go to a doctor, to take a pill, or to, you know, think that something is wrong, we've been
Mhm.
conditioned to think something is wrong. And when we think that, it creates those patterns
Right.
of not being in flow.
Right.
And so the thing that I love about what I'm hearing you saying is that you are becoming the magician of your life. You're becoming the healer of your life, of your body. You are tapping into the energies in your body. And when you commune with them, they obey you because you are the governor of these 37 trillion cells.
Ashe.
You, nobody governs it
Ashe.
better than you.
Ashe. And that's who I want to be a magician for first is me, you know?
Right. That's right.
And so that's where the work always comes to. I was listening to someone, and sometimes I felt this way with teachers and things like that. You feel like the teachers have it all together and they're this and they're that. It's like, no, everybody's dealing with something. This
Yes.
is the earth school where we all, and literally all, nobody's immune to this, all comes here to work things out and to learn how to
Yes.
use your powers and how to heal family trauma, how to heal trauma
Mm-hmm.
housed in your own body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about looking outside of yourself thinking that, oh, little me, I don't have it, or feeling bad because of where I am. It's just honoring where you are. This is me
Right.
to me, and moving myself forward step by step wherever I am. So
Yes.
that is a walk of love. That is a walk of deep self-love.
Yes. Which takes us into our topic for today.
Our topic for today
Yes.
is feeling undeserving of love. I didn't even set that up. I had
Mm-hmm.
to look. I was like, oh, that is perfect.
Yeah.
Feeling undeserving of love is our topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe our listeners all have always felt deserving of love. I'm being facetious, but I
Mm-hmm.
know me personally, born as a little black girl on the south side of Chicago, I didn't necessarily always feel that. This is a
Mm-hmm.
walk that I've had to really hold myself and get into what worthiness is. What does that mean? Always being worthy, and then knowing that my worth is immutable, it's
Yeah.
unchangeable. So
Yeah.
anytime I wasn't feeling love or was feeling unworthy, that was literally not love talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
if it was an aspect of myself, that was the programming talking to me. Now
Yeah.
I know that when I hear those things, I can take that tape out and like, let's no, stop, delete, and play something
Yes.
else.
Yes. I think the thing about deservedness, how I have seen it in my own life is
Mm-hmm.
um, multiple ways. But one of the things that has gotten my attention the most is this idea that I need somebody else to love me in order for me to
Gosh,
feel loved.
I got to shake the rattle on that. Hello?
If nobody else is validating my lovability, then I don't feel lovable.
Mm-hmm.
And or that's how I have been in the past. And really getting to a perspective of understanding that love is an internal paradigm.
Right.
It 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 cannot be sourced externally. And everything in our culture up till now has pointed me towards this idea that love is something external. It's never been, every time when I take an information about the self, it's always like, what's wrong with you? How do you make yourself better? This is, if you have that, you'll be better. If you have
Mm-hmm.
this, if you look this way, you'll be better.
Self-help,
Never, right.
like help.
Right. Never like I am whole and worthy already. There is nothing that can take away from who I am, and then there's nothing that can add to it. So, this concept of self appreciation, self love, self acceptance is relatively new for me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And because all of the the narratives were like, you're not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not right yet.
What?
It's not, if you're this size,
Especially
you'll be
for
better.
women, think about
Right.
like Valentine's Day, that we just came off of last week, and then fairy tales where someone has to come and rescue you. We've really been programmed with this idea of not enoughness, like you need
Yeah.
to be someone's or you need to belong in order to be loved. Or you have folks, or also,
Hmm.
and feelings of lack. I'm saying two things. So
Yeah.
for me, this undeserving of love shows up in feelings and stories of lack that actually play out in real life.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So, do you have an example?
Okay, let me think about that. An example of that would be money stories. So
Mhm.
you may say that like everybody will say, you want to be rich or you want this or
Mhm.
that, you know. But for me, having just enough, like you and I talked about this, like having just enough to maintain the life that I currently live. Whereas
Mhm.
my desire is to have abundance and
Mhm.
not just be right at the level that I'm at. I want to not have a ceiling over me, and I want to break through and really know that I can have, do, and be everything that I want in this lifetime. And I'm not just speaking of
Yes.
material things. So
Yes.
when I think of that, I'm thinking of how I remember growing up, my grandma would always say, my grandma was born in Mississippi too. Like she would say, we are poor. That's what she was saying. We poor. And I'm like, I never really resonated with that, but those messages they do still land somewhere. We're poor.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
understand why she said that, even though she worked two full-time jobs and to
Mhm.
buy her house and to do all of these things. So she definitely was a place where the family shifted, but her perspective was still, we're poor.
Mhm.
And so where is that poor perspective in me where I feel like, okay, we got, we got just enough. And then that's the place where you stay. Like I am seeking, I am creating a space where I can expand in this lifetime and not hit a ceiling of like, that's just it.
Yes.
And this is just beyond material. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense. It's very interesting because as I was listening to you talk about we are poor
Mhm.
and the ceiling, and I have experienced that a lot myself also, like this idea that money is the prize is what I would say. Like, right? And so one of the things that I've been working with is how can I bring appreciation and love and acceptance into everything I'm experiencing right now? Because if I'm abundant, then whatever I say is abundance. Like,
Mhm.
so it's like, how can I remember when I was a child and like maybe I didn't have all the games, the technology, right? But I still had the technology that was my brain that could create stories and scenarios and really it's like utilizing everything I have right now because that is what true abundance is. I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
that I have one of the things that I know that I have experienced is which I didn't when I was younger because I felt really upset about this thing. We are poor, right? We are poor. We
Mhm.
are black. We are black. We are
Right.
poor. We are
Right.
sad. We are,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And one day I got to be an adult and I realized that I had a lot of wisdom on how to heal myself for myself with herbs because I couldn't afford to go to the doctor.
Mhm.
So I had cultivated an experience of abundance that was mine.
Mhm.
Like I learned how to master my mind because I couldn't go to a psychologist to give me drugs to
Mhm.
take to deal with depression. So I learned how to manage depression in organic healthy ways.
Right.
But that came because we are
Right. It
poor.
came out of a quote unquote lack, but it led you to abundance, which was better for you overall.
Right, right. And so it's literally being able to see things from a different perspective while being in it. And to me, that is the true power of abundance. Like
Mhm.
understanding the nature of the universe and that the universe is not flat. The universe is multiplex. It has various perspectives in one thing. Now, the question is if I'm on the perspective of lack, then how do I get myself out of the perspective of lack and into the experience of abundance right here, right now, without the
Right.
circumstances needing to
That,
change?
that part.
That
I feel like it's what we focus on. Like you said,
right.
like when I'm feeling lack or the we are poor story, I remember that quote unquote money is created by humans.
Yeah.
And when I look at abundance, I look at things that were created by the creator, source. The squirrels, they're not sitting up there worried about getting nuts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they go ahead and they stockpile them. The birds have what they need. Like nature has what it needs generally.
Right.
Okay. Like the
Yes.
planet provides what
Yeah.
we need. So then I look at all the ways where I'm provided for and I have what I need. Like I choose to focus on what I have
Yeah.
and the abundance that I
Yeah.
have. You know, there's a lots of
Yes.
abundance so that I can expand it into the areas where I want additional abundance or I desire additional abundance.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I feel like one of the great lessons that has been intimate for me is that because gratefully, I have always been really healthy. Like, I'm just healthy, is what I'll
Mm-hmm.
say. Like, things come up for me like sinuses, and that's annoying, but I can move through life with my sinuses doing a thing. I'm very healthy, and I'm also very strong. And when I started to realize one day, it's like, you're so focused on this lack thing around money that you don't realize how healthy you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize that you actually have a strong body, you have a clear mind, and you can do whatever you want, but you're so focused on this amount of money that's some made up nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started asking myself, well, what can I focus on? What can I focus on that is more true? Like what's really valuable? And I was telling you this, like one day I went to bed and I heard Spirit say to me, just as I hit the pillow, Spirit said, when you want to talk to me, breathe. Breathe. And I literally was pissed off about it because I was like, you know how much I like to talk. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And that went on for months. Like me, Spirit just being like, just breathe. And me being like, ah! like, what? Like, that's nothing to me. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was in meditation and I heard it just got so clear like, this breath is the key to everything here.
Everything.
Everything. It without
Mm-hmm.
this breath, you don't have nothing.
Yeah, you got minutes without breath. You could skip some meals, you could skip water, but you can't skip the breath.
Cannot skip it. And literally, I was just like, wow, this is the most valuable thing I have. This
Mm-hmm.
is more valuable than money. This is more valuable than the people that say they like me, or this is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I like for months I've been wrestling with it, but now I get it. And whenever my mind is like off in anything, I literally am like, just come back to this breath because this
Mm-hmm.
is the most valuable thing you have. Like, how can you have a love affair with this breath? And
Mm-hmm.
I literally, I'm still in the quandary of it. I'm still in the like, wow, what's possible? I don't really know yet, but I will say that what I'm beginning to experience is a presence in my body
Mm-hmm.
that has nothing to do with what's going on external.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I am here. I am really here.
So that
And this
beautiful alignment, I feel like we can take it from inside and expand it outside. Because, folks, we know that the dimension that we're in, money is the agreed upon currency for how
Mhm.
things move. And so we want lights, we want food, we want cute clothes, lipstick, earrings, you know,
Right.
like we want
Yeah.
these things,
Yes.
but
Yes.
let's expand it from a centered place, from the
Yes.
abundance of our breath that you breathed the first time you came out your mother's womb up until now.
Yes.
We can expand the consciousness of abundance through the awareness of the breath
Yeah,
if we decide to.
that's right. And
Mhm.
you're so worthy that the breath comes to you every single time you take it in.
You don't think about it. Yeah,
Right.
like you're
It's
sleeping and you're breathing. You know,
that's
you're not
right.
thinking about it. You're breathing
You're
right now.
not thinking about it. It is the most valuable thing we have. And I'm like, I've become aware of that. I'm like, wow, this thing is so valuable. And I've been around the earth 55 times, and here I'm finally starting to be like appreciative of it. Like, I
Double
didn't even
nickels,
know.
double nickels.
I didn't even know how important it was to be appreciative of this breath. It is everything. It is everything.
I love,
So,
Monique, how sometimes, not sometimes, all the
mhm,
times, the way the creator set things up for us is so
mhm,
simple. It's humans who make it complicated. The keys to success and happiness and peace, they're very simple. They're very subtle, and you've always had them. It's just we've
right.
been asleep to a certain level about the power of them. But Spirit saying to you, I'm right here. I'm riding your
Right.
breath right now.
I'm
And I
right.
understand being pissed because, like, how could you have been here the whole time? And I'm doing all of this stuff. I did cacao and I ran around the block and I did this and I
Right.
did that. All these churches and da 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 da. And it's my breath. Yes,
You couldn't have done any of that without the breath.
exactly. Yes, it's your breath. That's amazing.
It
You also
really is.
said something about the need to be loved and liked by people. I think that's really paramount that we talk about that because we've
Mhm.
all experienced that, and especially in this social media environment where we actually get likes on our posts or views or these kinds of things, and that's some type of social capital. But
Mhm.
the need to be liked and loved externally does create a dominion outside of yourself. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes. Yes. I I feel like as a woman, that has been the greatest prison that I have
Hmm.
experienced. This seeking love outside of myself and then giving meaning to how I express that. Oh, I'm beautiful because this person loves me, or I'm valuable because this person loves me. Yesterday I was washing dishes and I was remembering this experience that I had with this brother and how I felt inside, like internally, I didn't feel attracted to him. Like, like I didn't feel like, oh, I don't, here's what I knew. I felt like, oh, this relationship can give me some sort of social collateral, some sort of
Hmm.
social standing.
Hmm.
And and that was at war with what inside of myself. It was like, you don't need that. You know what I mean? But this other brain was like, you do need that. And it became this interesting dynamic of a tug of war inside of myself because I started to take the actions towards this social capital.
Hmm.
And those actions were against an aspect of myself that was like, bitch, you don't need this. Like, what are you
Hmm.
doing? And it just is, it's such a fascinating way we've set up our culture and what we've done around acceptance and love and
And
community
validation,
and
this
validation.
external,
Yes.
yes, like it validates you to be with such and such. If they have this and they have that, and you can do the this and
Right.
the that, it gets really weird, and you get really far away from yourself with that. But you don't
Yes.
know it until you're out there in the woods, and you're like, oh, like, and you're really separated from yourself. So
Yes.
you almost part of being on the earth school is to feel that, so then you can bring you back together
Yes.
again.
Yes. Absolutely. It's a very tricky thing. And I like, have you ever experienced feeling like you have compromised
I have.
your and
I have.
like tell me. Yeah.
So I felt I had a relationship with a love who was very affirming to me. Just, and
Hmm.
it felt so good that just very helped me see myself in a way that I really didn't see myself because
Hmm.
I was still not realizing holding stories of lack
Hmm.
and unworthiness, even though on the outside I felt like I was okay. But his words of affirmation and love and just I think I was, and I'm gonna use this word, but just take it for what it is. I felt like I was addicted to the affirmation.
Hmm.
I like I needed someone to tell me that, that I'm amazing and that I'm beautiful and I'm this and I'm that. Whereas, and then it was almost like a promise of something to come later because
Hmm.
you're this. And so you're holding on to this promise of what? Like when Martin Luther King get to the mountaintop. I
Right.
mean, what? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like,
Yes. Yes.
like, oh, when we get there one day, it's like, no, I need to give myself that affirmation.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying I don't appreciate compliments and those kind of things. I do, but I can't be dependent on it. That can't be, I can't sacrifice myself for that. I
Yes.
have to understand anyone who says anything positive to me is just an addition to me firmly understanding and appreciating who I am, even at all levels of my
Mm-hmm.
becoming, all
Mm-hmm.
levels. So
Mm-hmm.
even as I am right now, I'm wonderful. I'm amazing. I've done great things and I have great things to do. Understanding that about me. So it took a minute to get to the side and to see that. You know, it took me a while to
Yeah.
see that. But when you see it, then you start to really open up into your freedom and understand what you're here
That's
for.
right.
You
When
know?
you see it, you can't
You
unsee
can't
it.
honestly, I was
That's
like,
right.
nah. I mean, you can play those games with yourself, but we're
Right,
not here for
right.
playing those games.
That's
We're here
right.
for actually getting to this self-actualization and understanding that, and everyone has to
That's
do this. Everyone has to come from a self-centered place, standing on your own two legs, not propped up on somebody to make you feel like you're something. No, you are amazing.
right.
You are.
That's
Each and
right.
every one is a universe in their own
That's
self, right now,
right.
even as you're becoming.
That's
And
right.
I had to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning that.
That's right. Oh, that's so beautiful. What a beautiful share. Thank you for that. It reminds me of a conversation that I had with my ex-husband probably a decade after we were divorced. And he said to me, when we were married, you would say something, like you might say something about something you believed, and we were in a group of people, but then you would look to me to affirm it, to agree
Mm-hmm.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and it repulsed me,
Oh, ouch.
which I felt the ouch of it, but I also felt really happy that he had been so honest,
Mm-hmm.
because some part of me wished he had been honest when we were in our marriage, like that he had said
Mm-hmm.
that, because what I saw was, oh, I was looking to him to affirm
Mm-hmm.
my
Your
sense
point.
of self.
Yeah.
I was looking for validation outside of myself. And when he told me, all of a sudden I saw all the decisions, everything that I had done, and with the expectation that someone else would validate it, that they would make me feel like, oh, this is okay what you've done, or yes, we agree with this. And then that's the thing that started helping me to come back to myself, to realize that the agreement happens inside of me.
It's like he could see you. He's like, you a queen. What you looking at me for? Like, why are you looking at me? You don't even see you. You looking at me, and I'm looking at you. You got the answers, then you looking at me for the answers.
Right. And so it's like really coming back to myself to recognize, like, I know what I know. I'm connected to source. I have this wisdom. I've always had it. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been this magical person, and I can stand inside of myself and validate myself. I don't need someone else to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
it took me hearing him say that helped me it helped me see it in myself. It helped me
Yes.
see, and I was like, oh wow, this is really so I understand what you're saying. I understand
Mm-hmm.
in my own way
Yes.
this need to, like, use someone else's perspective as a crutch for your own sense of self, your own identity, your own self, your own confidence. And
Yes.
um like, self-love cannot be outsourced.
It can't be. Like what we're talking about is ending cycles of abuse. And these are cycles of how we abuse ourselves. People
Hmm.
talk about other people and how they talk to them and how they do all of these things. That's not even possible when you honor yourself
That's
and when
right.
you know who you are. So this, we have to first end it in ourselves so we can see it reflected outward. So
Yes.
these are minutiae, these are fine tuning, but baby, when you get
Yes.
it, ooh, like you say, you can't unsee it.
You
You
cannot
cannot.
unsee it.
Mm-mm.
You cannot.
You cannot.
And it's very interesting as friends, like you and I and other, like, we see it in ourselves, we heal it in ourselves, then we see it in our friend group. We see our friends
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes an interesting, like, one of the things of loving myself has been having the courage to be myself and not take on the patterns of other people to be in agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, like I feel like as women we do this. Like we like to be in agreement with one another. Like that's just girl, yeah, girl, yeah, 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 like all that. And when I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm actually not a girl, yeah, on that, but I see what's going.
I'm not I finger up. Not a girl, yeah. No. I'm a girl, no.
I'm a girl now on that. But I understand we're standing in two different places,
Mhm,
and where you are is fine, and where I am is fine. But let me stand on my own square
mhm.
and still be with you in it.
Yes, that's
So
love. That's
that's
love.
right,
Hmm.
right. And then I'm gonna stand on my own square and still be in it with you. And then I watch you get free from the very thing that
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
like, isn't it something?
Yeah, because if you girl, yeah, when you're really not a girl, yeah, then the person can't even really get free. It's sort of like what your husband was saying. Like he was
Yeah.
like, "You don't need to look at me. What you looking at me for? You know that kind of thing.
Right.
Like, don't you know who you are?" And that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're doing. Like, okay, I'm a no, but do you? You gonna work it out because you can't fix it for
You
nobody
cannot.
else. You really can't.
That's
You really
right.
can't.
That's right.
So they
But if
have to
you have
feel
the
the stress.
courage to be yourself in it,
Yes.
when it's the people, if it's for them too, they will see it and go,
Yes.
"Oh, let me try
Yes.
that. Can I get a taste of that?" Yes.
Yes. So the fear, the stress, the anxiety, all of those things are medicine too. The
Yeah.
uncomfortableness of that will encourage you and be that fuel for you to move into a better feeling place.
Yes.
But if you don't have that, if you just kind of placate yourself, then you really stay trapped in the yuck even longer. It's like, are you going to get it this life? I know we were having a conversation. It's like, well, you can keep doing that and that'll burn out your energy. And then maybe you do it next time. It's like, oh, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, nobody here for burning out the energy this lifetime. I'm here now. And Adina is here to be present with her full evolution. So I'm a girl now on that one. And you just telling me, matter of fact, you keep playing over there, keep fucking around and miss it. I'm like, I'm not missing the mothership. I am not. I am here for the
Because
trip.
you got to get it for yourself,
And
right?
that's what
Like it's
I'm saying. So that's the thing about feeling it and understanding that those things are medicine. Like when people go and say, "Oh, I'm so depressed," it's a medicine in the depression.
that's
Oh, I'm
right.
afraid. Okay, what are you afraid of? Let's start unpacking the whys of that. Let's get to the medicine of what that's about. It's not
Yes.
about avoiding it, it's about facing it. How can I
That's right.
face the thing that I'm so scared of? My girlfriend is holding my hand. I'm holding my hand. I'm
Yeah.
on my square. My ancestors got
Yeah.
my back. I'm
Yeah.
straight. Okay. I have what I need to face it. And I'm literally here on earth right now to face it.
Yes.
This is what I'm here to do.
Yes.
So let's do it. I'm not fucking around, Monique. I'm not.
You are hilarious. I know you're not. I really do know you're not.
Girl, what? Harriet
But you
say,
know,
let's
I'm
go.
not telling
Let's go.
nobody what they need to do. I'm just
No, you
saying.
don't. Mm-mm. You ain't tell me what to do. You just was like, okay, well, you ain't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm smoothing myself along. And I was like, no, what I'm not going to do is
Right. But
I'm
I
not
will say
missing.
this is the thing that I love about the work that we do is
Mhm.
understanding that this is all energy based.
Yes.
And energy is eternal. There's an eternal amount of energy, but you have to be focused in the right perspective for the energy
Yeah.
to continue to flow through you. And
Yeah.
if you're focused in the perspective where the energy is going to get stagnant, then that's what it's going to occur.
Hmm.
And at the level of the work that you and I are doing now with other women and ourselves and all that sort of stuff, it's kind of we're kind of like in the middle school or the high school of spirituality, right? Because it gets to the point where what do I want to say? Like we really believe that we are creating our lives. We know that this how is how reality works, and we have that conversation inside of ourselves and together every day. We are creating this reality. We're how do we know? Because women give birth to reality. Because my thoughts show up, my action, like we're proving it over and over and over again. And that concept, that experience of being the creator of your reality, it is the absolute truth here. but most of us don't believe it.
Well, and you're going to get what you believe, because whatever you believe is what it is.
That's
And
right.
people are free to believe whatever they
That's
want. That's
right.
fine.
That's right.
This is what I'm doing to shift my reality and to
Yeah.
shift myself into a feeling of eternally deserving of love, because I always was and I have always been. I just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Is when I wake up in the morning, before I speak to my spouse, before I speak to my children, before I check email or a text or social media, whatever, I talk to Lil Adina. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell her every day now what I love about her and what
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate about her. Like I'm available to her to soothe
Mm-hmm.
her. So for me right now, to Lil Adina, my little girl inside me, I'm telling her what's special about her,
Mm-hmm.
what's creative about her, what she's creating. And I feel it. I feel that. It's very sweet and it's very intimate. And I can start my day. I can't even do meditation before I start. I'm still laying in bed, haven't really opened my eyes all the way, and I'm communing with little Adina, holding her, letting her know how amazing she is. So it's like when you like your post first. Everybody else is extra. I already like me. So you
Yes.
can like me, you can love me or not. I already like and love me. And so I'm
Yes.
coming from that place. That's how I'm self-sourcing that. What
Yes.
are you doing? What are you doing to come into that?
Oh gosh. So the breath has been just the simplest thing for me so that I can stop overthinking. And
Mhm.
when I bring my attention to the breath and I'm like, there's nothing I can do to separate myself from this.
Mhm.
I cannot hold it. Like, this is the force of the universe moving through me. And it is committed to me almost more than I'm committed to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I'm just reminding myself of the, like, how eternal this breath is, that it has been here, it's not going anywhere, and it just shows up for me every time. Like, when I put it out, it comes back in. I
Mhm.
give it away, it's back with me. Like, I cannot
Mhm.
separate myself from it. And I am shocked at how soothing this is to me. Like,
Mhm.
I am shocked at how enormous this reality is inside of me. And I've been practicing it every day since I have, and it clears my mind immediately. Like, my thoughts go away. Like, I literally am like, oh, this is the most valuable thing I have. This is it. And I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Pretty profound.
That is so beautiful. That is
Mhm.
beautiful.
Thank you. So
So
is
for the
yours.
folks,
Yeah.
oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I've been listening to her and let her have her way with my little
Yeah.
fuzzy ears and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but giving her love, engaging her in her heart space
Mhm.
and her tender spaces, that's healing
Yeah.
me. It's really healing. It's healing Big Adina. So I'm thankful for that.
Mhm.
Lastly, I just want to remind everybody that our higher self knows the truth. The
Mhm.
part of us that has never changed, the part of us that is pure source energy, always, always, always has known the truth. And as we tap into that, we can free ourselves from the stories of the matrix and the stories that have told us otherwise. And then even still rock this life out here in this dimension right now. We're here to have fun and to
Yeah.
make this our flow. So let's be about that. Let's be about what's going to bring us joy, what's going to elevate our spirit and get us into a better feeling place. So just know you don't have to stay stuck anywhere, but you
Mhm.
do have to do some things to shift inside so that you can be your most abundant self, so that you can
Yes.
attract the love in your life you want, so that you can attract the finances and experiences and health that you desire. It's
Yes.
available to you. And
Yes.
this is how we do it.
That's right. And in
Mhm.
God is Technology, we teach because we've been conditioned and taught to function from the perspective of what I like to say a white man's mind. Like competition,
Mhm.
greed, not enough, lack, scarcity. But what we do in God is Technology is to teach you how to function from the abundance of that's within you. The sun is in Pisces this month, like really learning how to be devoted to ourselves, how to use our imagination, how to activate our sensory system to function in alignment with divine order, how to be connected from within and out, how to connect to our ancestors, our spirit guides, our intuition, our masterful intellect, how to access our genius. All of that is inside of you. And the only way to access it is through really loving yourself. When you are in negative narration about who you are, just like if you had a friend that you were talking shit about and then you want them to be loving to you, they would not. If you are talking shit about yourself in the subtlest of ways, like, I don't like my body, or my hair is do this, or I don't have enough, your system will not become available to you if you are using language and narratives that lock you out of your own self. And
Yeah. Your
so
thoughts,
that's
even your
right.
thoughts. Yeah.
So at Goddess Technology, Adina and I are teaching women how to be in the practice of self-love so that you can access your magic. And that's what we're up to. So thank y'all
That's
for
what we're
joining
up
us today.
to. Yes, yes. And the doors of this Sacred Sisterhood are open. If
Mhm.
you feel called to what we're talking about, please join us. The links are in our bios to join us for Goddess Gathering. If you want to come with us to Bali, we have a couple more slots available for that. The links for that are in the bio. But come on, y'all, let's heal, let's love, and let's rock this life right now. We don't have to wait for Harriet to come back. She's here at the door. It's time to go. Let's
That's
go.
right. Ashe.
So with that being said, I love you deeply, my sister. I
Thank you. I
love
love
y'all
you
who are
too. Thank you so
watching.
much, Adina. Yeah.
Yes. This podcast is available where podcasts are available. And we're even on Apple Podcasts now. So share
Yes.
it. Share
Yay!
it.
Yay!
All
Yay!
righty. Bye, everybody.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Bye bye.